Jumping into a rebound relationship after you and your partner split might actually be worse for you than you could have imagined. What's going on, fellow explorer? In the work that I do, helping people move on and get over their exes after a breakup, this is one of the sneakiest ways I see people avoid doing the actual work to move on from their heartbreak. And it's sneaky because oftentimes they don't even realize it, and it seems like they are getting better, but oftentimes this behavior is just a way to avoid doing that actually work. And so in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the ways why this jumping into a relationship, a rebound relationship very quickly after a breakup can be so sneaky. And so the first reason is that this is actually just a emotional painkiller. Jumping into a rebound relationship is just like taking a painkiller when you get a broken bone. And so what would happen if you, let's say, broke your arm, and instead of actually mending the wound, you are just taking painkillers? You are addressing a symptom of the pain, but not actually addressing the real injury. And what happens if you don't actually address this actual injury? The bone doesn't heal properly. And then when you go to use it again, so say you go and get into a new relationship, all of the issues from that unhealed broken bone, quote unquote, unhealed broken bone, is going to show up again when you try to use it. And so I want to be clear here, there's nothing wrong with using painkillers, right? Especially in your healing journey. But we want to make sure that when we are using painkillers, we are using them appropriately. We are using them at the right time. We are using them as a supplement to our healing journey and not as a way to avoid that healing. So if this is something that is resonating with you, this is the work that I love to do. So if this is resonating with you, I invite you to take a look into the description of this video, and there will be a link there for us to work deeper on this if this is something that you actually are wanting to work on, right? If you are going through a breakup and you want to do the intentional work to move on from this breakup, click that link and figure out how we can dive deeper into this work together. So the second thing I see when people are jumping into these rebound relationships is that it is a way to start to endorse the idea that the breakup is a contest that you need to win. And so if you are, or if you were the dumper, oftentimes jumping into a rebound relationship is a way to prove to yourself that it was the right decision, that you made the right decision to leave. And if you are the dumpee, if you are the one that got dumped, oftentimes jumping into a rebound relationship is all about helping you prove to yourself that you are still desirable. And neither of these are about love. This is about optics, it's about ego, it's about escape, and it's about it brings up these silent questions, right? And when you jump into this rebound relationship, oftentimes you are looking to see if this person is better than your ex, is this person worse than your ex, and you're judging this new person against your ex-partner. Or sometimes you are using it a way to see if you yourself are feeling any different, feeling any better, feeling any worse. And so ultimately, we want to make sure that we are not using a rebound relationship, using another person to try and win this imaginary contest of who is going to get over this breakup faster, me or my ex. The third thing that I see with rebound relationships in the people that I work with, right, is that they start to train your nervous system to chase highs instead of training your nervous system to chase relaxation, regulation, safety. And so when we jump into a rebound relationship, oftentimes the rush of new texts, new touch, new validation, this can all feel like it's a step in the right direction. It can all feel like it's healing work that we are doing here. but it's actually just activating your nervous system, which is the opposite of what we want to be doing in this stage. And it can oftentimes leave you more dysregulated long term. And so rebounds are super tricky because, like I said, they can look like it is healing on the outside, right? You're smiling, you're happy, you're going on all these dates, you're going on all these trips, you're having these new experiences, you're feeling alive again, but the timeline of grief hasn't changed. And you still owe all of this pain that the breakup has been churning up inside of you. You need to take time to be with that pain, to be with that grief. And if you are just avoiding it by chasing highs, all of it is going to come back and you will need to address it at some point. And so the fourth thing I see when we are talking about rebound relationships is that it can start to reinforce the belief that you are unlovable alone. And so when we jump into a rebound relationship too quickly after a breakup, this can send the message to your nervous system that I can't survive this pain without somebody else. And instead of proving to yourself your own strength, instead of proving to yourself that you can be with this pain by yourself, that you can regulate your nervous system and come out of this better than you ever imagined, you start to reinforce the belief that you are only safe if you are attached to someone else. And so while it feels good, right, ultimately we want to be able to cultivate that validation. We want to cultivate that safety. We want to cultivate that regulation on our own. We want to be able to do that ourselves instead of relying on somebody else to do that for you. And so when we jump into a rebound relationship too quickly, instead of learning how to do all of that work ourselves, we outsource it to someone new. And it might feel like momentum, right? It might feel like you're on the path to healing. And this is why this behavior of jumping into a relationship too quickly is so sneaky, because it feels like we're making progress. But ultimately, what I see in all of the work that I do with people is that jumping into a rebound relationship too quickly is all about distracting and delaying the actual wound that needs healing, that needs processing. So I'll take it back to this metaphor that I started with around the broken bone. The rebound relationship can be this emotional painkiller. And what we want to do is we want to set the bone, right, which is oftentimes extremely painful and it brings up a whole bunch of pain. We want to intentionally do the work to set that bone back into place in its correct position so that it can start healing and getting strong again, and doing that in the healthiest and most efficient way possible. And in that process, right, as we are healing, as we have set the foundations for proper processing of the wound that the breakup is bringing up, once we have laid those foundations, then we can use painkillers, we can use tools, we can use exercises, we can have resources in our toolbox that help us ease that pain. But we're easing the pain on something that is foundationally strong. And once we have those foundations, then we can strategically use these tools. We can use strategic, healthy painkillers to help us with that pain. And so I'm sharing this because, again, this is one of the huge patterns that I see in the people that I work with, is that they use a new person, a new relationship, a new connection as a way to avoid the pain and discomfort that the breakup is stirring up within them. And so if this is something that is resonating with you, if this is the type of work, if you find yourself in a similar place, right? You have just broken up with your ex, maybe it's been a few weeks, maybe it's been a few months, and you're noticing that your thoughts are looping, you're wondering about what they're doing, if they're seeing someone else, if they are in as much pain as you, and you are starting to see yourself maybe turning this into a contest. Maybe it's not dating, maybe you're jumping into work projects, maybe you are starting new hobbies. Whatever it is, maybe you're finding yourself scrolling social media endlessly, turning into this detective, trying to figure out why they left you and all of these things. If you find yourself resonating with this is the work that I love doing. I love figuring out a way to help you move through this breakup and get over this person and create that safety in your nervous system so that you can self-source your own validation, so that you can learn from the mistakes that you made in this past relationships, so that ultimately you create that regulation within your own nervous system, you feel safe, you feel grounded, and from this place of grounded regulation, then you can make decisions on if it's time to get into a new relationship. And you are doing that from a place of emotional safety. So it's no longer a rebound relationship, but it's a potential for a new, healthy, grounded partnership with someone who understands you, with someone that you understand, that you can actually build together. And so if this is resonating with you, again, I invite you to check in the description below this video, find the link so that we can dive into this work together deeper. I'm wishing you all the best. I know this is a tender time as you are trying to recalibrate to this new reality after the breakup, but I assure you, healing is possible. You don't have to wait for time to heal your wounds. So find that link, click it, and I would love to work deeper on this with you together.